I know this seems a little bit early in the morning to be eating chicken, but when you're a guest from Australia, as Helen Reddy is, well, you can do anything you want. As a matter of fact, if you are Helen Reddy, you can do anything you want, especially when you've won the Big Apple known as the Grammy Award. We grabbed her just before her most recent concert, and she is in between meals. She's taking care of her babies, and she's getting ready to go onto the stage. So, are you through with that chicken? Was it good?
It was fantastic.
I bet you have never been on any television special before eating chicken and doing such a nice job.
It's true. I have never eaten on TV before.
It's a first, and you saw it here
You are.
first.
Television first.
You have, you've got all the honors. You've got top albums. You won the Grammy for the Best Female Performance. You are a heroine to so many people. What does all the past look like? The past when you were knocking on doors, when you were playing in some sleazy nightclubs, or when you were working your way up. Now that you're near the top, or at the top, what does all that stuff look like to you?
It's like something out of another life. It's like a grey fog that's way back. I hardly even remember it anymore.
Is it dim in your memory?
I feel that my life just started about 2 years ago.
Do you have a sad feeling about that, or just...
No, it was necessary. It was dues paying, or whatever you want to call it, but I don't think it helps to dwell on it. I lived it, I learned from it, it's over, it's gone.
Was it a modest, was it a mean chapter in your life, or just another life experience?
It was a very hard, the first 29 years of my life were very hard, I'd say.
And the last two have been velvet and...
Terrific.
And cream.
Yes.
What about, I read an interesting story about how your husband, who was then a talent agent, met you. Neither of you was famous, but he had faith in you. Now he's your manager. His name is Jeff Wald, and he's lurking around the premises somewhere. What kind of a contribution has he made to your career?
Oh, total. I mean, I make the product and he sells it. That's what the relationship is on the business level. He does a fantastic, incredible job. I really think he's the greatest manager in show business.
Really? Mm-hmm. You are the famous one. Now, not many people outside of the show business world know Jeff Wald. And yet, many times in show business, when one partner, especially the woman, is so eminently more famous than the other, there's an ego problem. How do the Walds, how do the Reddys handle that?
It's no problem at all. He gets called Mr. Reddy maybe twice a year. It happens that rarely, and when it does, we usually laugh about it, because I'm not that crazy about being called Mrs. Wald, and I get called that all the time.
Why aren't you crazy about being called?
Because my name's Helen Reddy. I've worked very hard to make the name mean something. I'm proud of it. That's what I want to be called.
Fair enough. Now, you have just won what few singers before you have won. That is the Grammy Award. And it's still fresh in your memory. And you got the top. That is the best female performance with your I Am Woman. What do you think that will do for your career, or to your career?
Well, I tell you, if I'd known the difference it was going to make, I would have been much more nervous than I was. But in terms of cold, hard cash, it's worth about $1 million to me. In terms of publicity, it's incalculable.
It's like winning the Masters tournament in golf, or an Academy Award, I suppose.
Something like that, yes. I didn't realize. I mean, I didn't think I was going to win, and I kept telling myself so that I wouldn't be disappointed that it didn't really matter, it wasn't important. But it very obviously is.
What do you think about the fact that I Am Woman has suddenly become, or has gradually become, the anthem for the feminist movement?
I'm very thrilled and very proud. I certainly didn't, sit down and say I'm going to write an anthem for the women's lib movement. But the fact that so many other women relate to the song and to my experiences it's a very warm, sisterly kind of a feeling.
And yet, isn't it true that the song had been in existence and been knocking around for a couple of years before it really took off?
That's right. The song was on my first album in its original form. I added a third verse later on and re-recorded it, which, the second version is the one that became a hit.
And do you think that accounts for the success, the change of it?
I don't know. You never know what the deciding factor is and what exactly makes a song a hit. Maybe the timing was right. I don't know.
I get the impression that that song really is more than a song, that it expresses much of your own philosophy about a woman's place in life and your own.
Yes, I think so, definitely. I think it's had a positive effect on a lot of women's lives. Most of the mail that I get seems to say that. A lot of women say, if I wake up in the morning and feel a bit depressed, I put the record on and it gives me the courage to get through the day, or I made a change in my life that I should have made years ago because of your song. That kind of mail I get a lot.
I've seen you in a guest star position in a lot of prominent television programs. When you come on as a guest, that is, you're not the top banana yourself, but you're invited, honored guest, how much at the mercy are you of their producers and their writers in what you do?
It depends on the individual show, but this is not something I have to worry about for a while because I have my own show starting.
This summer, right?
This summer, June 21st.
I saw you do a show with Bobby Darin, which I liked enormously. Did you like working with Darin?
It was a very strange kind of a feeling working with him because I'd been aware of his work for so long, and I had bought his albums 10 years ago, and it was kind of strange to be sitting there and working with him.
Now I have a question about a specific staging of the song that you did with Darin.
Yes.
As you know, part of the format of his
I know what you're
program
going to ask me, and you're not the first person.
When you sing nose to nose with him,
yes,
eyeball to eyeball, and you get closer and closer and closer, and you're singing love lyrics, emotional songs.
Yes.
Do you have a tendency to just burst out in a tremendous guffaw?
Yes.
When you're so close?
I try so hard not to giggle.
Really?
It requires a lot of control.
Rehearsal must have been a
yes.
a
It's
ball.
just a very strange thing.
But it's a very effective way, I think, of singing like that.
Yes, it did. I thought some of the camera angles that they used were very artistic.
You seem to read lines well. Do you? And I know you had experience as a radio actress as a youngster in Australia. Do you like to do sketches? Do you like to do funny lines?
Oh, definitely. Yes, of course. I like to do different characters. TV show that I was in Australia, I had the opportunity to play a lot of different characters, a lot of different dialects and that kind of thing. That's fun. I enjoy that.
In that respect, maybe like Petula Clark, who started very young and became famous. Somebody said that you were like the Shirley Temple of Down Under. Is that true in any way?
Well, I do have somewhere in the archives a picture of myself at the age of 12 with one of those hideous, huge bows in my hair and tap shoes, and that's an awful thing to say, the Shirley Temple of Down Under. Okay.
I think that was one of your people who said that. I read that somewhere.
Probably.
That you didn't have the little ringlets. What work that you did, Helen, that you liked the best?
Do you mean
A song, a performance, a bit?
Oh, there have been lots of moments, and there are also sometimes if you're playing in a scripted show, which is like in a theater which has a long run, there are certain performances which stay in your mind because of some kind of thing that happened with the audience. That's usually what makes a particular performance stick in the mind. There's a moment when you touch the audience where you're really one and you're rolling along together, and that's a very exciting thing.
Louisville will remember that performance of yours. Thank you very much. Our guest this morning has been the outstanding singer and winner of the Grammy Award, Helen Reddy. We'll be back with more in just 1 minute.